Hello everyone. How is everybody doing today? I'm just going to, as usual, pull things up on my end here so I can follow along with you guys. Just need to make sure that there is no volume. Oh, there would have been. I apologize that we're just getting going. We had some Wi-Fi troubles. Everything went down at our end just as we were about to go live. So TV, everything. We had to get everything back up. So Ryan had to call MTS and get that going again. So that took a little bit of time to get everything reconnected. If you are here, say hello and I'll know that you're here. I'm going to try to, sorry, I should have left that alone. I'm going to try to block these lights. I'm using my glass mat today so that I have a nice solid surface underneath this stamp when I stamp that for you guys. So that means that we have a little bit of glare from my lights. Hi, Ramona. And I think I see Linda maybe there as well. There's a few of you watching. Hi, Linda. Okay, so I will, oh gosh, I hope these aren't too distracting up here, those lights. Hopefully once we get going with some of my elements, I can try to cover that up. But some of you may recognize this card. I have posted this card previously, and it actually was featured in a card cafe that I did, but I wanted to, following something old, something new, I wanted to pull this one in and recreate this with some current DSP that is outgoing, but this was Celebration DSP. So I have found some DSP that is in the annual catalog that I can recreate this card with today for you guys. And then also, I just wanted to, I've shown you guys this one already, but just wanted to show you the something old, something new, and how I use this fold and layout with both designs. So before we get started, I am Alana Worf, Sleepless Stamper. I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, and I'm here to create this card for you guys today. All right. How many of you guys have made this card? Some of you made it along with me at the card cafe and maybe even made it on your own afterwards. Okay. So I will show you guys the elements that I came up with. Somebody, this one has a little splotch of water on it, so it's time it get remade anyway. But this one is going to feature Marvelous Nature. This is on the retiring list, or the last chance list, and I just want to give you guys the information on that stamp set before I get going. I'm just going to pull up the index so I can tell you what page it's on. It is on page 106. I can tell you it was a little bit tricky to find something that is retiring, but not yet sold out. Things are flying off the shelves, so it was a little bit tricky to find something. But Marvelous Nature, I actually thought this, I had planned this card and then I thought it was sold out, so I was thankful when I discovered it actually was not sold out. So page 106, Marvelous Nature is actually 40% off, down to $21.60. I checked this about an hour ago and it was still not sold out. So hopefully that's still the case if this one interests any of you guys. No pressure on this, but happy to show you guys how you can use a card layout in different ways. So you don't have to feel like this is the only stamp that will work for this or layout. For example, here I've used just one of those elements from the new Adventurous Sky DSP where all this work is actually already done. So that is the stamp set I'm using today. And I'm going to go very similar to this one here. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, maybe I'll put this up here blocking one of the lights. Hopefully it blocks it a little bit. You get a bit of glare, and I'll try to put this one here. If you are interested in ordering online to qualify for my retirement party offer, if you use this host code, is actually still good for maybe about the next hour, and then I'll post a new one for you guys. With a $65 order, you will qualify for a free gift. With a $100 order, you will qualify for the free gift and my free retirement party class. I'm going to just review these supplies here. I have a Pebbled Path card base. This is 5.5 by, I believe I took 1 inch off, yeah, by 7.5. And Let me just double check that that's 7.5. It's actually 7 3/8. 5.5 by 7 3/8, and then it is scored at 4 1/4. So that remains, the score line remains the same. I have a scrap to stamp my greeting, which is just the piece that we trimmed off here. I have a piece of white to go on the inside. That's going to go here. That one measures 5 1/4 by 3. And then I have a scrap of white, or in this case, a quarter sheet, so that I have lots of room to stamp this focal image and then fussy cut it. So when I say fussy cut, don't be too afraid. It's a very simple fussy cut. There's not a lot of lines there. So I'm going to stamp and fussy cut that. And then this is for my greeting. So very minimal supplies for this one. It is a quick, easy card to make. So I'm going to move this aside. And I will quickly tell you guys I'm not going to stamp that yet. I'm going to prep the DSP for you guys. So this DSP layer is 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then this one here should be 1 by 5 1/4. So that is the measurements for those. And I'm going to show you the current DSP that I have, rather than, oh gosh, stippled something that this was during Celebration. I loved this DSP. These two patterns in there, I just loved how they coordinated together. But that's not what I'm going to use for you today. Today I have pulled in some of the, just going to bring it here. Sorry, I just have to grab it from beside me. I want to be able to tell you what the name is. So from, I think it's Earth and Textures. Oops, I'm dropping some. Earth and Elegance. So from the Earth and Elegance pack, I'm using this pattern here. So I'll replace this one with this here. And Fresh as a Daisy, I want to say, is what the other one. Yes, Fresh as a Daisy. I have grabbed this pattern, or it has this on the back. So those are the two patterns. The card will turn out very similar to the one that I have. And I will cut those down for you guys today. So I just want to see if this scrap that I have, I saved my scraps in the package. So I'm actually going to use this little piece here. We had used this on a card, or I had last year when the Daisy bundle came out. All right, so we're going to cut these pieces here. I have my little cutter. I will just cut my 1-inch piece, and then I will use my larger cutter to cut this down to 5 1/4. So we have a 1-inch piece that needs a little trim still. And I will just move this a second to bring my large cutter in. Sorry, it's so clunky. I really shouldn't put that on top of my card. Move that over for a second. And with this one here, I'll just confirm my measurement. I think I said 2 7/8. Yes, 2 7/8. So I'll just cut a 2 7/8 strip, because I'll make a second one. If you are up for sharing this video, I will make a second card and I will mail one to whoever wins the share draw. So 2 7/8 by 5 1/4 is that one. And now I still need to trim this one down to 5 1/4. So there we have both of the pieces of DSP that we need for this card. And I will do one more a little bit later and mail that one out. So all you have to do to be entered in that is to share and then come back and comment that you shared. That is the only way that I will know that you have actually shared, because sometimes the Facebook settings don't actually tell me who has shared. So we'll keep these here so that you guys can keep an eye on those. I'm going to tuck these pieces of DSP away. I have my stamp all set up on my block. I apologize. I don't like to put the stickers on the back. So when you see me stamping this, it's not going to show you what that image is, but it'll be okay. So I have Pebbled Path ink. I'm going with a really monochromatic feel here. So I have Pebbled Path ink. And I found that this stamp actually fits really nicely on the ink pad. So if your pad is well juiced, then you should get a fairly even application. So I've got that. I want to get just a little bit more. Oh, I created a little bubble. There we go. So with this glass mat, it does a really nice job. Or now watch, hopefully it doesn't make a liar out of me. I find the first time I did this, I got it in the first shot. So if I don't, oh well, I'll have to redo it. But there we go. Look how crisp that is on the first try. So that is this cute little bird image from Marvellous Nature. I may have to try later using this image and making the same card with a different color palette for you guys. So if I do that, I will post a photo for you guys. Let me know if you'd like to see what I could come up with. So now I will just set this aside, let that make sure it's dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to stamp the thanks for everything. This is also from here. I love a good simple thanks. I was telling you guys the other day the huge thanks from, oh gosh, what stamp set was that? I don't even remember what stamp set, but a huge thank you from Encircled in Nature. It's just right here. So this one here, I love that one. They're both like a nice thin thank you greeting. Those are my favorite kind of greetings. So I have Versamark and, sorry, my embossing buddy, and then my white powder. So I am going to do a good job of, just want to make sure you get a good coverage of embossing powder. Like I told you guys the other day, I find it's better to have more than you need than not enough. So I don't wipe that powder off. I want to leave that residue there and then stamp on top. If you wipe it clean, it's not going to do as good a job of helping eliminate the static so that your powder doesn't cling everywhere you don't want it. Now, I put a little bit too much ink on the T, so I'm gonna just go ahead. There we go, that's a little crisper. I could tell, I'll bring this closer so you can see. See how that T there is a little more bold? I know that I won't be thrilled with that if I just go ahead and have that as my only one that I'm heat embossing, so I may as well add a second one in while I'm at it. I'm just going to use paper as my funnel today. I may as well heat emboss both, but there we go. Now I'm going to need to start a new white container very soon. I was telling you guys yesterday that I need to strain out the little pieces that have gotten into my powder. There we go. I find every so often I need to take a fine mesh strainer and clean out my embossing powder. Do you guys ever do that? Would love to see the other image. Awesome. Okay, so I will make that a goal and I will do what? I have another color palette in mind using some of the same DSP packages. So if you guys have those DSP packages, hopefully what I have in mind will come to fruition and I can give you more ideas. Whoops, that's not plugged in. One sec. My heat gun became unplugged. So if you are here watching, I will go live at the same time tomorrow. I'll do 1:30 again tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll update with the times that I will go live on the weekdays. I won't do all of the weekdays at 1:30. I will do some, but I'll keep some evening options as well for weekdays. But my post didn't post, and then as it turned out, the Wi-Fi was acting up and I couldn't get on at 1:30 anyway. But oh, what was I going to say? I will do 1:30 tomorrow, just so that you guys have a heads up in case for any reason my announcement doesn't behave. So this is just trimming down close to top and bottom. I'm going to take a little more off the bottom just to even it out a little bit better. There we go. And then I'll bring this closer so you can see. So I've got just a fairly even frame around there. It does not have to be exact. So I'm gonna just trim the sides off a little. There we go. So there is my greeting. And get rid of the garbage there. Now, I apologize, you can watch me fussy cut this bird. So that is the stamped image. Now, I'm going to just go broad around the edges first. Oh, sorry. And then I'm going to, it'll be a little closer for me to fussy cut without all that extra paper in the way. Does anybody that's watching have this stamp set? Let me know if you do. As soon as I saw the sample in the catalog, I knew I wanted this one. I'm gonna just bring that back in for a second. I think I said page 106, I might be wrong. That's just going on my memory. We'll see if it serves me correctly. It was right. This sample here is what made me want this stamp set. I love that ombre that they did there. So maybe I'll do something like that with the other colors of DSP while I do one with the other shape. So I just have to fussy cut around these little wings. And then otherwise it's straight lines, but I love how this stamp does the work. And you can do, I think it's a cute card with very little effort. So there's not too much here to do. You could also color it in. I just liked how this negative space type of image, I don't know if that's what you call it, but that's what I'm calling it. Hopefully, oh, sorry, I can see that I'm off view here. I'm so busy paying attention to my cutting that I didn't realize on screen that we are off the camera view. Sorry about that. Now, there's just a tiny little wing here, piece of the wing. And like I have showed you guys or told you in different videos, I find it easier to turn the paper as opposed to turning my scissors. I'm gonna have to clean up a few little parts here that I don't love. So I'm gonna come a little closer here and then clean up around this wing. And then I have one wing to clean up around the other side too. But you can always come back to that after. Just wanna get, there we go. And I don't want this one quite, no, that one's good. Okay, so that is the focal image. Sorry about that. If you are here or just hopping in, say hello if you wish to. If you want to remain anonymous, that's okay too. All right, so now we have all of the stamping done. We've got our focal image, we have our greeting. I just need to bring in some linen thread, which I did not put away. It's right here. I was thinking I tucked that away in the drawer myself. And then now we have all of the elements of our card. So the card base, we've got our, layer of DSP for the front, our layer of DSP for the side, and then all of our other elements. So now I will assemble this for you guys. I am going to use the Stamp and Seal again today for the DSP. I don't mind using Stamp and Seal for DSP. I just don't necessarily love using it for cardstock layers. The trick I find is if you keep the applicator flush, you don't want to bend it, just keep it flush, and then press and lift. It will do a decent job of, or a good job of applying that adhesive. Sometimes people struggle with seal and having it slide off the track or not releasing nicely, so just a little press and lift and it should be good. So I'm just going to apply this to the front fold or the front flap with even space as best I can all the way around. So we've got that. Now I'm going to attach this piece of DSP here. I mean, if you wanted to go bold, you could probably turn it around, but I like this muted feel here. So I'm going to go with that. And just run that down. How many of you guys use Stamp & Seal? I think I was telling you guys the other day, I definitely have certain things that I like for certain types of applications. Like I like to use tear and tape often if there's a fancy fold or cardstock to cardstock. Sometimes I'll use Tombow for that as well. So there we go, we have our DSP. And I'm not going to use my Tombow for the white because I do find that sometimes the tip of the bottle just leaves a little indent and then you see it. So that's one of the particular applications I have. I don't like to use Tombow when I'm adhering a layer of basic white that you're going to see. So I am going to just use my seal for this. It's just a liner, so I think using seal for cardstock to cardstock will be all right here, given that I don't want to use the Tombow for this. So we've got the layer of white. I'm going to just butt that up right against this DSP because here, before I do that, I can see that there's no gap. My DSP is tucked right up against this edge. So now I can comfortably tuck this white edge right up to there. I'm being cautious not to let the rest of this here touch down and have that adhesive grab. So there we go. Now I can burnish that down. So now we have the guts of our card there. I'm going to just burnish this fold one more time, make sure that that's staying nice and flat for me. And now I will dimensional this right on here. I go and move things on myself and then I've got to figure out where I've set them. So it's pretty simple. Now, the other day when I did a card that had an overlapping layer, I was telling you guys that I like to just flip it upside down to make sure that where I place my dimensionals are not going to go over the fold. I don't want to tape my card shut, so I'm just placing these on here to make sure that they don't come over this line here. So I'm going to back this off just a tad too. So this is going on here. I've got my dimensionals, give them a good press. And then I can just take those backings off. And I'm gonna just peek at that. So I've got about a ½ inch before this side here, and I'll keep the proportions the same. I'm trying to cover the lights here so they don't cause you guys a major glare problem. So I'm shrinking my working space down, but that's okay. There we go. So we've got that on there now. And I did not even put any embellishments on here. I was thinking about maybe putting some of the, oh gosh, rustic metallic adhesive back dots, but I just went nice and simple. So I need to tie a linen thread bow. You guys know I'm lost without my vellum. Please pray to the Stampin' Up! Powers that be. Hi, Kim, how are you? That we never lose linen thread. That would be a tragedy, wouldn't it be, Kim and everyone else? I cannot lose linen thread. Cindy and I were talking about this. We've been mourning vellum. We cannot go without our linen thread. Never ever. It has been around, both have actually been around all of my time as a demo. So I was very surprised when we lost vellum. So I'm trying my best to not use it. All right, I'm going to just tuck this about right here, and then I'll trim some pieces of, what's the word, dimensional, losing my vocabulary here. And I'm just gonna trim a little piece off the border, tuck that down. And I probably don't need it quite that long because, well, you know what? Yeah, it's good because I do actually need to cut an extra little piece to double layer. I need to double decker where it overlaps here. You guys know me and my double decker dimensionals. So I've just peeled one side there. I know, Linda, it's terrible. I love vellum. I know it's not everybody's thing, but I love my vellum. All right, so I've got this here. Now I'm going to just gauge where I need to put a little bit more. So I need just a little bit to go underneath the thanks. And this piece is going to be too long, so we're going to cut that a little bit shorter. And I'm going to put that, I want to just peel this backing that's on here back. You have to remember to peel the backings off when you're going to put two pieces of dimensional together. If you don't do that, the second one you put down is just going to be sticking to the backing, and then they can separate and come apart. And ask how I know that. We actually did a whole set of swaps. I had some helpers, my son actually, and he put the second dimensional so lovingly down on top of the backing of the other one. So we had to peel them off and redo them, otherwise they wouldn't hold. So I've got that little double decker there. Now I can peel this off. He was so cute. He was doing his best. I think it was before Founder's Circle, back when that existed. There we go. So that is my simple card for today. So very little stamping. You could always stamp something extra inside. You could even do the Your Marvelous inside, or Lots of Love, or something else, or maybe you want to stamp a little bit more inside. But I just kept it really clean and simple, monochromatic, just very little embellishment and very little stamping. So hopefully that inspires you guys. And you don't mind the second take on the same card with this one here. You can no longer get that DSP. That was, I think, oh gosh, I don't think it was Stippled Roses, but it was Stippled something from Celebration. I apologize, I don't remember the name, but I wanted to do a retake on that with some paper that you can still get. I know a lot of people loved this one when I did this one with my card cafe, and then the paper was sold out. I held it when the paper was available, but people that wanted to do more after couldn't get the paper. So here is another version where the paper is still available. Neither of these papers were sold out earlier when I checked. So again, just to recap, that one is, I want to make sure I have the proper name. It is Earthen Elegance 12 by 12. And this one here on the side is from Fresh as a Daisy. I tried to find two sheets from the same pack, but to copy the same feel as this, I didn't have any, so my apologies. But you could always go with different patterns and a pack that you have two coordinating patterns in, so don't feel you have to stick with this monochromatic look either. All right, well, once again, if you would like to qualify for my retirement party, which is the retiring list, not me, you can go ahead and use either this host code, or you can contact me and I can add to a group order I have going in if you're local. If you're across the country and you want it to ship directly to you, this one, actually, I'll put up a new one today. So I'll be closing this one off right away. So I'll put up a new host code very shortly in case anybody wants to shop online. And otherwise, you can contact me and I will add it to the order that I am closing right away with this code here. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow at 1:30. I will have something different to show you where I can feature something old, something new. It may not always be the same fold done with something old, something new. Maybe it'll be a technique, but I'll bring you something old and something new daily until the 28th for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I won't be able to do it on the 29th. We leave on the 29th. So I will go live daily. The time may change, but tomorrow will be 1:30 Central Daylight. So I will see you guys again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed my card. Bye, everyone.